I need y'all to like the video. Comment if you want, but turn your post notifications on so you know the next time I drop. Okay, up first we got Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is in the news again for an allegation of sexual misconduct with an OnlyFans model.
It's my love going bang, bang, bang.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Tony Busby, if you guys don't know, he is the same lawyer that tried to defame Jay-Z with a sexual allegation. He uses women to be able to create a narrative of sexual misconduct for prominent black men. Tony Busby is a lawyer who's based in Texas. I'm not sure if it's Houston or not, but I know that it's somewhere in Texas. Unfortunately, Shannon Sharpe, just like so many prominent black men, is going to be a cautionary tale for us. It's going to give the sisters, and might I add, Dr. Umar Johnson,
I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
more ammunition to say to stay away from the snow bunnies, because this is what happens. They're also going to say that Shannon Sharpe deserves what he has coming to him because he didn't settle down with someone his age. I think this girl Gabby is like 18, damn, or 20 or something like that. She's, pretty young. But it just goes to show you that no one's safe, especially in this climate. I do have some of the calls that they're using to build the narrative. There's two courts that are in session here. There's the court of law, and then there's the court of public opinion.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the out of you when I see you.
Or I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you. Now choke yourself. God damn it, with my hand, numbnuts. Don't pull my fucking hand over there. I said choke yourself. Now lean forward and choke yourself.
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
When you're in the privacy of your own home or having private conversations, a lot of what you say, especially with a particular person, may come off as aggressive to the public. But when people are having these conversations, a lot of those conversations are riddled with sexual innuendo, and apparently she liked it rough. But to the public eye, it may seem as if he's being a violent man or a violent person, but this may be the nature of their relationship. And so what women will do is they'll create this culture in the relationship that they have with men of roughness, claiming that they like it, and then
You going to jail. You're going to jail.
record it and then use it as a manipulation tactic to destroy that person's character. I'm not saying that Shannon Sharpe is right in this instance. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I'm saying that just based off of the nature of what is understood of their relationship and how their sexual relation was, where it's very rough and she asked for it, this type of talk isn't unheard of.
Well, what, Gabby?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked. So I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Okay, well...
Well, what?
We don't really know the nature of what this conversation is about. What they put that out there for is just so that you can hear him saying that he's going to choke her, okay? If that's the nature of their relationship where they operate like that with, you know, rough housing, rough sex, that type of thing, and she says that she's into that, this conversation, given the context of the nature of their sexual relationship, isn't that far off. And so what you have here, in my opinion, and you know, you can crucify me, say what it is that you want to say about it, in my opinion, I think that she obviously knows that she's recording him, and he doesn't know that he's being recorded. Because of that, she tones down her conversation and sets the trap to make it seem like it's something that it isn't.
Gotcha, bitch.
Today's a different day because of where I have to get started and where I have to finish. There's only going to be one subject discussed today, and it's where we're getting started. It's involving some news that broke yesterday involving Shannon Sharpe, my colleague at ESPN and my friend. The Hall of Fame tight end was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery.
Bang, 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 daddy, bang, bang.
The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025.
Women like to play the game that they like things rough sometime, only to be able to build a case against you to use it against you later, especially if you're a man of prominence. You have to protect your seed and you have to protect your wealth from these women because they are trying to do any and every underhanded tactic to be able to take what it is that you've worked very hard for.
He ain't lying.
This case alone is going to send a message to most men about the nature of the sexual dating market and that they're going to have to make an adjustment in protecting themselves. Nowadays, you see a lot of women complaining about the fact that men are no longer approaching them.
So am I like the only woman that no longer gets approached by men?
And when you really boil it down, it's for reasons like this. Them leveraging what it is that they're asking for against you to create a narrative.
The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Busby. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn.
So that was a lie.
Jay-Z also has countersued Busby. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September of last year.
Bang, 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 bang.
In response to the suit, Shannon and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him and the Jane Doe. In addition to that, they issued the following statement. Quote, this lawsuit, filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed, end quote. Then earlier today, Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, sent TMZ Sports a 1 minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media.
I don't think women understand the damage that they're doing to themselves when it comes to just the male-female interaction. This right here is definitely going to lower the birth rate. Unless laws are changed to protect men and their wealth, you're going to start to see the female-male dynamic kind of dissipate, where women are going to have to basically sign NDAs and contract stipulating that what is transpiring is all consensual, because it's easy for a woman to feign consent, get you all riled up, having normal conversations, and then turn around and flip the script on you. Use the text messages that y'all both are engaging in as a weapon. And so men are going to have to do a better job of protecting themselves. And I'm not putting this all on men, because the social contract between the two isn't being disrupted on the male side, it's being disrupted on the female side, because it's causing men to have to become a lot more cautious in their dealings with women. We could take it to a race issue. This right here has been a mantra in the black community since long before my time. Do not mess with snow bunnies, because they will get you jammed up. And I gotta say, grandma might have been right.
It's a sad situation. Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. Works on First Take, which airs on ESPN every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. He's been with me every Monday and Tuesday. We've been #1 for 13 years and counting. But since Shannon has arrived, obviously he's helped the show immensely, and I can't thank him enough for it. We've grown close as friends. I'd like to believe that. I certainly root for him. I know he's been through a lot in life. He's overcome a lot of things. And when he departed from Fox, I was more than happy to bring him on board here. So all I can speak about is what I know based on the reports, and I can speak about ESPN and Disney. To be clear, even though this podcast, this YouTube show is owned and operated by me solely, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be dismissive of ESPN, who employs me in my daytime job on First Take. So I sit here before you today letting you know that they are aware that this is a subject that I was going to broach, because I owe them that courtesy. With that being said, it's important to point out a couple of things. Number one, I was not there. I can provide no eyewitness account. And even though I got love and respect for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him, I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt from a knowledgeable place, because I have nothing to do with this. I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything. I don't even know this person. I know what the reports say. I know the reports, the things that have been reported on a multitude of outlets, from the AP to the New York Post to Forbes to TMZ and everything in between. I mean, I can't even count the number of publications that have talked about it or written about it, networks, etc. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. And I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is not a criminal case, so there is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case, which means that he could either be found liable or not liable.
I want y'all to know that Cameron made a great observation that Stephen A., his response for Jay-Z,
but I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I don't believe it.
Is different than his response for Shannon Sharpe. Another thing is that he did mention that this is a civil case. Notice that it's not a criminal case. A criminal case would be indicative of someone who has real trauma, and their goal is to prevent a monster who commits these atrocities from ever doing it again. But this is all about money.
There is no concern about him going to jail. This is a civil case. Which means that he could either be found liable or not liable.
Keyword, liable or not liable. No jail time. Liable to pay or not liable to pay. The thing about this is these type of lawyers can find clients to throw as much shit against the wall to see what sticks. Shannon Sharpe can be totally acquitted, not liable to pay a cent, even though he did try and get ahead of it by paying $10 million so that this could go away and he could just continue his business as usual, which they rejected. And to some people, it may look like, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to look for? It may incriminate him a little bit. It may look suspicious, but when you think about where he's at in life, what he was trying to do, negotiating a $100 million deal, that would have been a logical move. If he's found not liable, this is definitely, in my opinion, grounds for defamation. But this girl's broke, you know what I'm saying? So like, what difference does it make? You know, so this is a lose-lose for Shannon.
The accuser in question is seeking $50 million.
God damn! God damn! God damn! What? Fuck!
That was confirmed by Shannon Sharpe on that video today. According to the reports, it's somebody that he met in 2023, who was 19 years old at that particular moment in time.
Damn!
According to some audio that was put out Earlier today, by Attorney Busby, you hear the accuser, the female, talking to somebody who is alleged to be Shannon Sharpe. We don't know whether that's true or not.
That nigga did that shit.
The person in question, again, we don't know whether it's Shannon or not, are the words choke, as in I will choke the hell out of you if I saw you. And so because of that, knowing that audio was probably going to come out along with additional tapes, whether they be video or audio is unclear at this particular moment in time, Shannon Sharpe felt compelled to come out in his own defense. How we interpret that?
A lot of lawyers would suggest that you just stay quiet, but this is the court of public opinion. And Shannon Sharpe, just like the rest of us, have seen this happen time and time and time and time and time again. Now, I'm not gonna say that all of it was unjustified, but there's a pattern that we have to recognize. So what he's doing is he's taking matters in his own hands and trying to defend himself just in the court of public opinion. What I will say is that choking, to me, and I think to anybody with any common sense, especially given the nature of this girl's profession as an OnlyFans model, is sexual innuendo. Yes, they're having a disagreement or an argument, but this is an opportunity to insert some sexual innuendo because of the nature of their relationship, which is to be understood. Now, the lawyer, Tony Busby, what he's gonna do is he's gonna chop this whole thing up and frame a narrative to fit what helps the lawsuit to extract wealth and resource from Shannon Sharpe.
Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them, or represented the woman who was accusing them of assault, of sexual assault, and said that she was 13 years of age at the time when talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z went ballistic and emphatically denied it, wouldn't let it go. The case was dropped, and now he's suing Busby, mentioning words like extortion and other things.
I really want to pay attention to that case because I think that just even that case alone is going to change the nature of how these lawsuits are handled in the future, because it's just not feasible for men in America, especially black men, to go through the rigmarole rigmarole. I'm trying to use a big word, man. I'm trying to use college words, all right? The rigorous nature that's required to generate the wealth that he's generated and then have to protect it by someone who has less to lose than you. There's a problem here and something has to be done. So hopefully Jay-Z's case against Tony Busby sets a new precedent. I think a person like that is just slinging mud on prominent black men in the media should call for them to lose their law license.
So when Shannon Sharpe brought up Mr. Busby in that video that we aired and talked about him being extorted, he brought up Mr. Busby and Mr. Busby's past. And he talked about him, going against African-American men. There's two thoughts there. On one hand, there's the Jay-Z, who obviously should be presumed innocent, not just because you should be presumed innocent until found guilty, but because of the manner in which he fought on his own behalf and has been very aggressive in going after Tony Busby. In the case of P. Diddy,
hold up. Wait a minute.
You try to be objective, right? But, P. Diddy, man, that dude just might have done it. You know what I mean? Just based off of the nature of what's come out about him. But objectively speaking, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is guilty of what Tony Busby was saying or alleging that he was guilty of.
You don't know what to believe. Again, the case against Jay-Z was a civil suit. Diddy was a civil suit. But in Diddy, you don't know what to believe because of all the allegations he's facing. But we can't forget that Tony Busby was also the person that represented at least 24 of the 27 women that accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct along with other allegations. And at least 23 of those cases were settled. So we have an obligation to mention that. So on one hand, going on the offensive to defend himself, I completely understand where Shannon Sharpe is coming from. On the other hand, when the press release on X yesterday, and they mentioned her name, and they revealed some of those explicit text messages, that was uncomfortable.
I don't know, I may be out of my depth here, but I think it's important for the accused to be able to identify the accuser, especially in public, because a lot of times you hear the prominent name like Shannon Sharpe all through the media, because that's what's going to drive the headlines. Hell, that's why I'm doing this video, because his name is big. But the accuser is usually, Jane Doe, just this mythical figure that no one knows. I think they need to be pointed out. I think that it's in everyone's best interest so that we can understand exactly what's going on here. She's an OnlyFans model. She sells sex and she's young. So I think that all of those nuance of details, I think all that's important.
And I don't know if that's a strategy that would work. One of the hardest things in the world for all of us to do is to just lay low and be quiet and let our legal team do it. And we don't always know whether or not that's the right thing to do. I know, and I can tell you all that I spoke to Shannon, not in details, but I spoke to him, and he emphatically proclaims his innocence. According to Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. So where does that leave us? I'd love to tell you that I know the answer to that question, but I don't. I am the executive producer of First Take on ESPN. I recruited Shannon. I went and got him and brought him to ESPN, but I'm not the boss. Those are other folks. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously, and we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means. In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped and Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere, doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, doing Club Shay Shay, and ultimately gets this $100 million deal that he was all over the news about to sign just a couple of days before this report came out. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false.
Coincidence? I think not. It's a money grab, I think. Unfortunately, Shannon Sharpe is going to be a cautionary tale, especially for men of prominence who excel. I don't think that after this whole calamity that he's going to be able to just jump back into business as usual and continue to prosper. I think that this may derail him in ways, but I also think that him being the guy that he is to even get to this level is not going to allow this to dictate his future, and he will continue to climb and will continue to persevere. And I wish him all the best. I also want to say that this nature of how women are weaponizing sexual relationships and using the term sexual misconduct is eventually going to lose its luster.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
I need y'all to like the video, comment if you want, but turn your post notifications on so you know the next time I drop.